The world with Donald Trump. A genuine fear for the future. The world today feels more uncertain and unpredictable than ever before, with significant political shifts reshaping nations, growing global tensions creating unease, and rapid societal changes altering the fabric of our daily lives. It's no surprise that many of us feel unsettled. Are you like me, overwhelmed by a sense of isolation, constantly grappling with the anxiety of what life might look like in the coming years? The next 4 years and beyond seem shrouded in uncertainty. And now, with Donald Trump poised to return to power, bringing with him a pattern of appointing unqualified individuals to critical positions in government, the stakes feel impossibly high. These choices will inevitably affect not just the citizens of the United States, but the entire world. There's a growing, genuine fear rippling across communities everywhere, as we wonder what this could mean for democracy, stability, and the principles we once took for granted. The title of this video isn't just a statement, it's a solemn warning. Freedom is fragile, and we are at a pivotal moment in history. When Joe Biden assumed the presidency, I remember feeling a deep, almost palpable sense of relief. It was as though the world collectively exhaled, believing that perhaps stability was returning after years of turbulence. Under his leadership, we began to see steps toward repairing the damage. Healthcare was improving, rights were being upheld, and strained global alliances were being carefully rebuilt. There was hope that the U.S. could reclaim its position as a credible leader on the global stage. And with Kamala Harris as vice president, there was the potential for a transformative chapter in American history. Her presence represented the breaking of barriers, the possibility of forward-thinking leadership, and the uplifting of marginalized voices. Yet, despite these glimpses of progress, that hope now feels overshadowed by the chaos, uncertainty, and looming threats of the future. We are now entering a time when the very principles that underpin democracy are under siege. Fundamental rights that many assume were secure are being systematically stripped away. Reproductive freedoms, voting access, and even the progress made in healthcare are being unraveled, leaving millions vulnerable. Leadership, which should be rooted in service to the people, increasingly feels like it's centered on loyalty to a single individual. Donald Trump's well-documented desire for revenge, coupled with a growing disregard for public service, is not just a political concern, it's an existential threat to the ideals of democracy itself. This erosion of democratic principles doesn't feel hypothetical or distant. It feels imminent, tangible, and deeply unsettling. Imagine for a moment a leader who has been indicted, or even convicted, sitting in the most powerful position in the world. What would that mean for democracy? What would it say about the integrity of leadership? About the trust that citizens and allies place in a nation's government? The idea of a felon occupying the Oval Office doesn't just challenge the rule of law, it undermines the very foundation of trust, accountability, and service that democracies are built upon. It sends a dangerous message to the world that power and personal ego can triumph over justice and the collective good. What's at stake isn't just a single presidency, but the credibility of the values we once believed were unshakable. But it's not just about the policies, it's about the broader implications for safety and security. National security, the environment, healthcare systems, and global diplomacy are all at risk when unqualified or controversial figures are placed in positions of immense power. And then there's the role of technology. Questions surrounding Elon Musk Starlink satellites and their involvement in managing voting data should concern us all. Trust in the integrity of elections is a cornerstone of democracy. And when that trust is undermined, so is the foundation upon which free societies rest. These vulnerabilities, whether they stem from ego-driven decision-making or unchecked technological influence, pose risks that extend far beyond borders. Leadership like this doesn't just affect one nation. Its impact ripples outward, shaping the global landscape. The world has already witnessed how foreign leaders manipulated Donald Trump by appealing to his ego, turning diplomacy into a shallow game of flattery. Critical global issues, from climate change to human rights, were sidelined, leaving allies uncertain and adversaries emboldened. This style of leadership isn't merely unpredictable, it's dangerous. The decisions made during such a presidency won't just influence the next 4 years, they will set the tone for generations, affecting lives, policies, and the planet's future. But here's the critical truth. we are not powerless. History has shown time and again that societies have faced turbulent times, seemingly insurmountable challenges, and even existential threats. Yet, they endured, they adapted, and in many cases, they emerged stronger. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, to think that decisions made far from home are beyond our control, but real change always begins within. Start by grounding yourself in your immediate environment. Take steps to organize your finances, strengthen your relationships, and create a sanctuary of stability within your home. Engage with your community, support local causes, and connect with like-minded individuals who share your values. These small, tangible actions build resilience, not just for you, but for everyone around you. Freedom is fragile. It requires constant vigilance, care, and collective action. Advocate fiercely for what matters most: healthcare, human rights, and democracy itself. Use your voice, whether that means writing to representatives, joining peaceful protests, or initiating conversations that challenge complacency. Remember, the power to create meaningful change doesn't rest solely in Washington, D.C., or in government halls. It exists in every home, every community, and every heart willing to stand up for what's right. If this message resonates with you, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Spread awareness and join the conversation. What are your greatest fears about the future? How are you finding hope? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. Together, we can face these challenges, protect our freedoms, and build a future worth believing in. Thank you for watching. Remember, freedom is fragile. Let's work towards hope together.